Derrick Rose, a name synonymous with brilliance, athleticism, and resilience, has officially stepped away from professional basketball. After an illustrious career filled with historic highs and heartbreaking lows, the NBA legend has decided to hang up his sneakers. To the basketball world, this isn't just the end of an era. It's a chapter closing on one of the most compelling stories in sports. Born and raised on the streets of Chicago's South Side, Derrick Rose captivated fans worldwide with his jaw-dropping athleticism and unwavering dedication to the game. Before we dive into the extraordinary career of this once-in-a-generation player, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the NBA Jazz Champs community. We bring you the latest in basketball highlights, stories, and analysis from across the league. Don't miss out on our next deep dive into your favorite NBA stars. Derrick Rose wasn't just a player from Chicago. He was the heart and soul of the city. Growing up on the South Side, Rose quickly became a household name while playing for Simeon Career Academy. His dominance on the court was nothing short of legendary, and by the time he declared for the NBA draft in 2008, he was already seen as a savior for the Chicago Bulls franchise. After being selected as the #1 overall pick, the excitement in the city was electric. Chicago hadn't seen this kind of hope since the days of Michael Jordan, and Rose immediately made his presence felt. From his incredible speed, leaping ability, and explosive drives to the basket, Derrick Rose made the Bulls relevant again. His rookie season was impressive, but it was just a sign of greater things to come. In just his third season, Rose became the youngest MVP in NBA history at the age of 22. With the Bulls finishing first in the Eastern Conference, he carried the team to the Eastern Conference Finals, going toe-to-toe with LeBron James and the Miami Heat. It was clear that Derrick Rose was not just a superstar. He was becoming the face of the NBA's future. In 2011, Derrick Rose accomplished what many thought was impossible. At 22, he became the youngest MVP in NBA history, and his play that season was nothing short of miraculous. Night after night, he performed at an elite level, with his signature mix of power and finesse. Rose averaged 25 points, 7.7 assists, and 4.1 rebounds per game during the regular season. But beyond the numbers, it was his ability to take over games in the clutch that set him apart. Bulls fans hadn't seen this level of dominance since the Jordan era, and Rose made it look easy. His ability to navigate through defenders, finish in traffic, and pull up for jumpers made him a nearly unstoppable force on the court. The Bulls finished with the best record in the NBA that year, and expectations were sky high. Unfortunately, after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals, they ran into the buzzsaw that was LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Even though the Bulls fell short, the future looked incredibly bright with Rose leading the charge. But just as quickly as Derrick Rose's star rose, his career took a devastating turn. In 2012, during the first game of the playoffs, Rose tore his ACL while driving to the basket against the Philadelphia 76ers. That injury marked the beginning of a long and painful road for the Chicago native. What should have been the peak of his career was instead the start of a string of injuries that would derail his future. Rose sat out the entire 2012-2013 season, and though he eventually returned to the court, he was never quite the same player. His once legendary athleticism was noticeably diminished, and the explosiveness that made him an MVP was gone. Bulls fans were heartbroken, not just because of what happened to their star player, but because they knew what could have been. Rose's injury became one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. Despite the setbacks, Derrick Rose never gave up. After a long road to recovery, he continued to fight for a place in the league. He reinvented his game, transitioning from a high-flying, explosive scorer to a savvy veteran point guard. Rose had stints with multiple teams, including the New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Detroit Pistons. In 2018, Rose had a resurgence with the Timberwolves, putting up a historic 50-point game that brought fans to tears. This moment wasn't just about the points, it was about resilience, perseverance, and the undying will to keep going despite the odds. He had become a symbol of overcoming adversity. Rose may not have been the MVP he once was, but he had found a way to continue contributing to the game he loved. Derrick Rose's impact on the game of basketball extends far beyond the statistics and highlights. He is one of the greatest what-if stories in NBA history. But his career will always be remembered for more than just injuries. Rose's story resonates with so many fans because of his journey. From growing up in Inglewood to becoming the youngest MVP in league history, his story is one of perseverance, heart, and never giving up. In Chicago, Rose remains a legend. His MVP season gave the city hope, and his style of play embodied the toughness and grit of the South Side. For fans around the world, Rose's career is a reminder that greatness is not just about reaching the top, it's about how you handle the challenges that come your way. Derrick Rose's unique style of play redefined what it meant to be a point guard in the NBA. Before Rose, the traditional point guard was known primarily as a floor general, someone who distributed the ball and facilitated the offense. Rose shattered that mold by becoming the focal point of the offense, blending his ability to score with his elite playmaking. His explosiveness off the dribble, combined with his ability to finish at the rim, set the template for many of today's star point guards, like Russell Westbrook, Ja Morant, and De'Aaron Fox. Rose showed that a point guard could be more than just a passer. They could be the most dominant player on the floor. His fearlessness in attacking the basket, regardless of who was guarding him, inspired a new generation of guards to adopt an aggressive, score-first mentality while still dishing out assists and making their teammates better. While Derrick Rose's impact was most strongly felt in Chicago and across the NBA, his influence also reached a global scale. As one of the league's most popular players during the 2010s, Rose became a global ambassador for basketball, drawing fans from all over the world. His partnership with Adidas further cemented his international appeal, as he became the face of multiple sneaker campaigns, and his signature shoes were worn by aspiring players across the globe. In places like China, Europe, and South America, Derrick Rose was seen not just as an NBA star, but as a symbol of perseverance and hard work. His resilience through injuries and his determination to keep playing the game he loved made him an inspirational figure for basketball fans worldwide. Rose's influence on the global basketball community is a testament to how his legacy transcends the court. Although Derrick Rose's playing career may have come to an end, his journey in basketball is far from over. Many speculate that Rose will continue to have a presence in the game, whether through coaching, mentoring young players, or even taking on a front office role. His deep knowledge of the game, combined with his experience overcoming adversity, makes him an ideal candidate to help guide the next generation of players. Rose has also expressed interest in giving back to his community in Chicago, where his story began. Through the Derrick Rose Foundation, he's already made a significant impact by supporting education and youth development programs. While we may have seen the last of Rose on the court, his influence off the court is only just beginning. It will be exciting to see how he continues to shape the game of basketball and inspire those who look up to him. Derrick Rose's legacy is not just about his highlights or his MVP season, it's about his resilience, his impact on the game, and his ability to inspire millions of fans around the world. From Chicago to China, Rose's influence will continue to be felt for generations. Whether it's his contributions on the court or his efforts off it, Derrick Rose will always be remembered as one of the greats. Thank you for watching this comprehensive tribute to Derrick Rose. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to NBA Jazz Champs and hit the notification bell. We cover the biggest stories, legends, and moments in basketball history. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join the conversation.